Shooting styles in film have changed a hell of a lot in the 21st century. We've seen sections of Hollywood favour the blue and green sets that they can set up in their parking lots over real-life settings, and it's provided equal benefit and detriment for the art. After the golden era of big studio backlots, finding an ideal location for your film was half the battle, not only having to scout out the location that matches the director's creative vision, but negotiating, budgeting, gathering permits, and completing paperwork just to make it work. This method has kept a lot of people in work in the film industry. Location scouts, set designers, and their extra personnel are crucial to ensuring sets are operable, thematically in keeping with the film, and safe for the cast and crew. It's all work that goes often unnoticed, and it keeps people employed doing indispensable work. Well, it was indispensable at the time. You don't need me to tell you how important green screens are in modern cinema. Most films we see on the big screen these days have all utilised them to some degree, often in ways you wouldn't be able to tell, or at the very least, have traded the on-location approach for shooting in a studio. Take the floods of content we get from Marvel, DC and Star Wars. Huge amounts of chroma keying and LED screens go into creating larger-than-life structures and unbelievable landscapes that are quite frankly impossible without the helping hand of modern technology. We've seen it used a lot in recent years of course, but it's not exactly a new invention. Compositing like this was first seen in The Great Train Robbery in 1903. The difference now is that the rapid advancements in CGI and digital VFX means it's much easier to shape and form a realistic background in post. The practice has had a lot of time to evolve, but when you compare recent films that use the technique to those earlier in the millennium, even as recent as 5 years ago, the difference is becoming more and more clear as time passes. It feels to age pretty quickly in this ever-developing film landscape, but there are many advantages to the practice. There's no fear of weather scuppering shoots, much less time and organisation is spent on verifying the space, and shoots generally have a chance to be much quicker and easier as long as you can spare the time for it in post. Plus, as with many big-budget superhero and action movies, there's truly no limit on where a filmmaker can choose to put their characters. It benefits the limitless creativity of today's filmmakers and allows for any landscape to be brought to the big screen, which is definitely a bonus for sci-fi fans, because there's only so many times a fan can see the same desert take the role of every alien planet. Needless to say, chroma keying and the green screen has offered filmmaking a huge change, but it equally has its flaws. As mentioned earlier, it seems to age pretty quickly, and the problems of nature that can detriment shooting on site can also be a blessing. For all its difficulty when providing for a traditional on-location film, Mother Nature also has the potential to drop pure gold straight into a filmmaker's lap. It isn't unusual for some shoots to be gifted with a perfect sunrise, a soft breeze that reflects the scene, or just the perfect natural lighting. Shooting on location also, obviously, allows the actors on set to fully realise their character and performance. Quite frankly, the fact that the majority of the Avengers could turn out such great performances in such an unfinished or borderline non-existent setting is truly admirable, and the green screen is quite often a detriment to the actors' abilities. But there's a new kid on the block that's treading the line between these two practices. Virtual production is here, and it's both impressive and actually pretty simple in concept. Video game engine technology has been adapted to render a virtual setting and its accompanying lighting effects in real time, all in camera. The first big example of this that leaps to mind is The Mandalorian, Jon Favreau's live-action Star Wars series. It's shot in a huge open space with everything in sight created by an LED screen adjusted on the fly to suit the camera. The Mandalorian has set the stage for a whole new practice in film and TV, and it's one that has already started to be adjusted for smaller productions. Virtual production is by no means perfect right now, and some cases have shown that green screens are still required for specific shots without a virtual workaround yet, but given the progressive nature of video game technology, there's no doubt that these issues could have a workaround in as little as a decade. The trouble that comes with green screen productions is slowly being ironed out by this new LED-based production. Actors are no longer working on block colour backgrounds, and despite them still not truly being in the work settings, they can actually see the world around them that they're expected to perform on. Plus, the randomness of nature has been cured for filming, and those perfect sunrises can now be randomly generated in Unreal Engine 4 and manufactured on set with LED panels. In a way, it's similar to Francis Ford Coppola's infamous wishes for Zoetrope Studios. Patrick H. Willems summates it perfectly in his videos on Coppola's filmography, so I'll leave the explanations to him. But Zoetrope Studios' dream for the film One from the Heart was a soundstage that encompassed all of the film's locations in a loving manufacturing of early Hollywood's musical era. Maybe LED-based virtual production is the modernised version of that, reinventing filmmaking once again. It certainly isn't replacing either for the moment, but consider the wonkier visual effects of the past 10, even 5 years. Could these janky visual effects soon really be a thing of the past? And can we truly comprehend the extent to which virtual production will shape Hollywood at this moment in time? as of right now, it's not likely to entirely replace on-set filmmaking. So many films, industries, and even countries benefit from their live locales, and in the shape it's in now, virtual production can't replace the tangible naturalism of real homes and locations. For all its positives, the practice doesn't really benefit small budget projects even slightly, nor can practical effects be put into place. Really, it's all or nothing. The technique is only for those who can afford it and make it work, but who knows? It could become more widely accessible in the next decade or so, or it could be made entirely obsolete by a new innovation. But until then, keep an eye on it, because it doesn't look like it's going anywhere anytime soon. Hey, thanks for watching our latest video. If you like what you see here, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Also, if you're interested in the history of Coppola's Zoetrope dream, check out Patrick H. Willems' video here. Peace out, see you in the next video.